So Nick Shirley made a new video. We're going to watch the new video. I investigated California's voter fraud. Here we go. Let's take a look at it. This is America, apparently. That's the problem.
We're just looking for these individuals as they're registered to vote here. John Thomas and Philip Thomas.
Yeah.
Is Gloria here by chance? Because she's 100 years old and she voted last election from here.
Can you see my? I said I want.
I just want to make sure you're not 126 years old.
No, I'm not.
And do you think it's possible like illegal migrants could be voting?
Not really.
Do you know where the ballots might have gone? Like for 108 people, that were registered here.
So there's 108 people that are registered inside of one house?
Comes to fraud, most people think about money. However, there's another potential massive fraud story taking place in America, one tied to the most consequential system in our country, which is our voting system. This has to do with everything about who runs the country and how elections are actually controlled. And if we don't have voter integrity, what even are we? And there's one state that is the breeding ground.
I think that they 100% have people making up fake votes. I think they have like people that go from these different political groups that try to harvest votes from a bunch of random people and then basically fill out mail-in ballots and then have those people sign off on it and then they send in the ballots. I think that's what they do.
For potential
if that's what I was trying to do, that's what I would do.
Fraud, and that is California, where it can take up to 1 month to count all the votes, no voter ID, and
so wait a minute, a month to count what?
Millions of ballots are cast by mail, and with voter rolls that are extremely vulnerable to errors, such as over 200 people who are over the age of 125 years old registered to vote in certain areas. And now to see how easy it is to vote, I headed
to this is the problem. I've seen some people trying to debunk this by saying it's only a little bit. If you have 200 people that are above 125, that's like a high-end, like abnormality that is like so obviously broken that everybody can see it. So think about if that's happening and there's 200 of those, think about how many other ones there are that you don't fucking see.
To register to vote
it's the tip of the iceberg.
California. Now this is the register of voters right here, and I want to ask them, why don't you need voter ID to vote here inside of California? Yeah. I was curious, how come in California you don't need voter ID to vote?
Because when you sign your affidavit, you're swearing that you're telling us the truth.
Well, we don't need to figure out whether you're a citizen. Just tell us you are. Okay, all right. Well, here you go. They filled out the form. But they filled out the form.
Battery 65%.
Guys, but they filled it out.
Do you think it leaves any room for error with voter ID, or? Yeah, I'm just like curious because I want to make sure that like our elections are as fair and honest as possible, and I feel like voter ID is just something super simple to have.
I mean, it's hard to really put a receptionist lady like this on the spot. What the fuck does she know, right? But at the same time, like, yeah, it's obviously fucking retarded.
And do you think it's possible like illegal migrants could be voting?
Not really. How?
How?
I mean, what's showing their ID?
Yeah, if they don't have their ID and they could just sign on behalf of Richard Sherman.
They could just say his name.
Then they could technically vote, right?
And she's like,
They would be lying.
They would be lying. Voter fraud isn't happening because if in order to commit voter fraud, you have to lie. Some of these people, man. God damn. It's really sad.
Yeah, but what if they just don't care?
What if they don't care?
What if like Richard Sherman and Billy Bob Joe just don't care?
Yeah.
But so you don't think illegals would ever vote, would you?
I don't think so.
No. So instead of showing your ID, you sign your signature and then it is scanned to verify it is you. So technically speaking, anyone could show up saying they are someone, and if the signature is similar, that vote will then count. And with millions of people voting, it leaves room for fraud to occur.
Just write your name.
Just take these two examples.
A Southern California woman is facing 5 felonies after registering her dog to vote in 2 elections. The dog's vote...
What? That's a dog. Why would you register a dog to vote? How could you... What the fuck? The hell's going on here?
Was even counted in one of those elections. Those behind the stunt say she did it to show the flaws of the current system.
Hundreds of people who cast votes according to state records, but we found they've been dead for years. Including a woman who died in 1988
and she voted in 2014.
Records show she somehow voted in 2014.
Wow.
26 years after she passed away.
What are the odds of that?
Julita Abutin. Records show she voted in Norwalk in 2014, 2012, 2010, and 2008. The only problem is she's buried here at...
No! Standing here at her fucking grave?
Forest Lawn, Abutin died in 2006.
Oh,
is it possible your mother voted in 2014?
There's no way.
Abutin's daughter, Maravik, says it's certainly impossible that her mother voted, but the L.A. County Registrar confirms they have signed vote-by-mail envelopes with her mother's name for the 2014 and 2012 election.
That is insane. How do you not... Wait a minute. How do you not have a system? Because when a person dies, they get a death certificate and it gets registered by the state. How is it that there's not a cross-checking mechanism? Oh, that's right. It's probably by design. Because, again, these things aren't done. There are no accidents here. A 5-year-old could have come up with a solution for this, right? Like, it's like, okay, well, why not just have a system that checks the other system? Duh. So if you don't have that, if it's something that's so obvious and it's not there, there's a reason for it.
Even though she died 10 years ago.
So it's not some crazy conspiracy theory to think that people are illegally voting inside the state of California. And with the state receiving millions of illegal migrants, the opportunities for fraud now are even higher as millions of undocumented people are living inside of the state. It's crazy how bad now let's go meet up with a man by the name of Urson who has dedicated years of his life.
Don't tell me that you've tapped into another fucking boomer that has been autistically fixated on this for 20 years. Oh my God.
Digging through voter rolls, finding fraud and inconsistencies throughout the state.
So how bad is the voter fraud here in California?
Well, we actually don't know because law enforcement isn't really investigating it, and we don't have.
We don't know. How can we know how bad the voter fraud is? They won't look into it.
People qualified to actually figure that out.
And what kind of fraud is taking place?
Well, we have voter rolls of about 22 to 23 million people in California, and we have just in Orange County per se. There's 60 to 70,000 changes a month that happens.
Wow!
So the amount of time and effort to go and follow up with every one of those,
impossible.
We just don't have the resources to do that.
And so, what information have you been collecting about the voting fraud here in California?
We have people that are still in our rolls from 2008 that are still getting ballots mailed to them that haven't voted in 18, 16 years.
And so if they haven't voted, what's the problem with them receiving those ballots?
Well, sometimes there's votes that happen later on with someone that hasn't lived here for 12 years.
Yeah.
And we found several occurrences of that. When we turn that in, those are treated as independent incidences that don't affect the outcome of the election. So they're highly disregarded from our concerns as voters.
And what information do we have right here?
Well, we got several different pieces that we're looking at today. One thing that's just a simple anomaly for people to understand is there's people that show to be 125 years old in our voter rolls.
That's a lot of them.
And that's a simple data flaw, but the issue is it keeps happening over and over again to the tune of...
Oh, it's a mistake. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in every county. That's a large size like where we're at today. Another one is we have a lot of voters...
So this is what I think is going on, okay? Is that it is a very, very simple bell curve. That is retarded. Okay. And I think that the 126 is right here. And I think it is indicative of all of this. That's what I think is going on. Because the 126 is the easiest, most verifiable, layup, obvious one that everybody knows is bullshit. So think about how many that you don't immediately, obviously, instantly know are bullshit.
That are at central locations, 10, 12, 15 people at a place where what is this business? What is it doing? These people are still going to continue to get ballots.
Yeah.
Another one is like a lot of the sororities and the dorm houses, where we have typical turnout, or voter turnout is like in the 50 to 70% range, but it's like 106 out of 108 votes cast.
Wow.
So it doesn't mean that that's fraud, but it means these are out of the...
yeah, I mean, it kind of does, though, right? I mean, like, again, it's a matter of, like, degree. Like, what do you think that all these anomalies happen together and they're aligned on top of each other? And every single time that these anomalies occur, they lead to the same result. Guys, I really wonder.
Normal order of what happens, and so that's what we're going to be going around and looking at today and seeing what's out there and what we can find. We have a system where you can register to vote in California without a driver's license number or social security number. Why do we allow that?
Yeah, why?
That creates 9.6 million records that then the state has to send to the Social Security Administration.
What?
And when 75% of those come back with no matching Social Security record.
So, wait, does that mean effectively 75% of these are fraud?
It should make every California wonder, why do we have a system like that?
Yeah.
Why do we have a system that's creating work?
Well, the reason why is that they're trying to obfuscate the voting process and make it impossible to unravel in order to basically inject the voting population with extra votes for whatever side they want. That's the reason why. If there's something that's this complex and this oppressive and this unnecessarily complicated, there's a reason for it.
And uncertainty.
And so what have you done to get this information about the voter fraud that's taking place here in California?
Well, we get our information from the Secretary of State. We get it directly from them. It's a lot of information, and it's very complex. And so we get this from the state, we package it up, and we help with our other researchers across the state that go and break it down into their own counties.
So we have all this information, and now we're going to go head out into the streets of California and see what fraud we can find.
Get their ass!
Where's the first place we're going?
We're going to the local retirement community, and the reason this one is just kind of particularly odd, you got 45 people registered, and 41 of them actually turned out to vote in the last election. So,
wow, that's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of old people that vote, but like, what do you think the probability of that is? Like, I think that they go after the old people the most because they're the ones that don't give a shit. I'll be right back. Give me a second. All right. I'm back. Give me a minute. Sorry about that. We're good now.
That's just, again, not typical for 55 to 70% turnout. So it's a mental crisis senior rehabilitation center. So we're just going to go there and see. Is there 45 people there? Is there beds? And check it out.
Yeah.
Can we speak to the supervisor?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how whenever they go to another place with a camera, there's actually no problems at all? The people would just shake their hands and act normal because the area that they're doing it in isn't fraudulent. So isn't this also, it's very interesting that this is happening because now it's showing that all of those accusations of, oh, well, they were barging in trying to see kids. No, apparently not.
It looks like there was maybe 41 of 45 people that are registered here. Does that seem low or high to you? Like as far as how many patients or residents you have?
That's probably not accurate anymore.
So that lady right there said that that's probably not accurate.
Ooh.
Right? So this could be a huge location where hundreds of votes could be casted from this one location. She said that numbers sound like they're inaccurate.
Here's another really big one for Nick Shirley, is the people that claim kids on their filings that aren't their kids because they take the kids. So this is the way it works, right? Is so people that are illegal aliens come over to the country and they have kids here and the kids are citizens. So they get social security numbers. So the illegal alien can't claim them on their taxes. So what happens instead of that is that people that are effectively, trying to save money and scam taxes, they go to these areas where the illegals are. Everybody knows where they are. And so they go there and they ask if they can register the kids in their name and give them a cut of the payoff that they're going to get from the taxes. That's the way it works. Yep. It's that simple. I hope he goes after that too. That's a big one. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, of course.
45.
Correct. So is there a lot more people that could be registered to vote and could be having their voices expressed?
Well, let's move on to the next location.
Yeah, surely.
Now we're here in the University of San Diego because they got lots of voters here. But what's the deal with this location?
It's some sort of institute for peace and justice, so it doesn't seem like you'd have a lot of voters like registered at some sort of an administrative office, but it very well could be. I mean, there's students that are all over the place here, so maybe it's some sort of a central mailing house or something like that.
Yeah, you have a conference room, you have Garden of the Sky, the Kroc School, classrooms, conference rooms, anything but dorms. And this is the location where 58 people are registered to vote here inside of the state of California.
Is this like a central mailing location, like this building for students and stuff?
No, this one is not. So we do have a mail center.
Wow, it's crazy. It's another person they're recording who has no problem at all answering questions and is not screaming, yelling, and pushing them out. Isn't that crazy? Wow, it's another fucking mystery, isn't it?
Because right here on the John B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice, it says we had 58 registered to vote and 50 people voted from this location.
So is 5998 Alcala Park? You're saying
is the entire university.
Is the entire university. So where do the ballots go?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I've never seen them.
So far, we're 0 for 2 as far as getting any clarity about where these votes are being cast from here.
Yeah, or any sort of real clarity.
And at these locations, when there's only around 40...
And again, keep in mind that the majority of this is like houses that have 4 people that say they have 5. These are the outliers that are easily identifiable from a third party with no resources and no ability to do an internal investigation and like a secondary data check. So keep in mind, like, you are looking at the worst of the worst.
50
which is the minority.
In locations where there's hundreds and thousands of people, it leaves lots of room for speculations, especially when nobody actually knows what the real count is and where the votes are being casted from. And just a reminder, all this information from Urson is the most up-to-date information from the Secretary of State of California as far as the voter rolls go. The fraud continues. Now we're outside of a extra space, a storage unit location. Here, 5 people are registered to vote.
Correct.
Did they cast their votes?
3 of them did in the 24 election. Then we had 1 that cast a ballot in the 2020 election and 1 that's never voted. The point is that unless this is a primary residence, right, or where you can sleep, right, which no one's supposed to by law allowed to sleep in their public storage unit, then this is not a legal registration. And these are the things that the county continues to let slip through the cracks.
Let's see if they're here. We have the names of all 5 people. Let's see if they're here. How's it going?
I bet none of them are here.
Sir. How are you doing today? Good. We're just looking for a few people here. We have Lily Morey, Philip Thomas, Sydney Thomas, Robert Thomas. We're just looking for these individuals as they're registered to vote here.
Did you have people that live here at Extra Space?
Are you Robert Thomas?
Oh God! Oh no! Do you think this is the kind of guy that could hoodwink into putting 5 people's addresses down? I think it is.
Okay, so who gave you this list real quick?
From the Secretary of State.
Yeah, it's publicly available information.
What about Robert, Sydney, Philip, and Lily Thomas? What about them? Do they also
doesn't even know?
So get their ballots here? Robert Thomas, Sydney Thomas, John Thomas, and Philip Thomas. Do you know where any of those individuals are?
any of the Thomases?
No, they're not here right now.
There's no one living in storage facilities, right? That's really the question, right? Just wondering if people are actually living in storage facilities or not.
So 5 people.
Another one where they all answer questions and they don't get kicked out and screamed at. Wow. It might be because it's a legitimate business.
Registered to vote here. They confirmed that nobody lives here. A little fishy. California's got some weird things going on. So 5 people, and they didn't know where any of the Thomases were, but this is their primary location.
Well, if those 2 people actually live here and this is where they stay, their primary residence, right? They get their driver's license here, their tax stuff comes here. It's completely legal. But the other people that are here that they didn't know or do know or so forth, right? Are they someone that was just getting something in a storage facility? So,
but this is a storage facility. There's no apartments here.
No. There are people that live in storage facilities, to be fair, but it seems like that's not what's happening.
Nobody's living here.
Not inside the storage facilities. But if the couple that we spoke to is actually, this is their primary residence, that would be legal under state law.
So Nick should get a suit and a lanyard. People might be more willing to answer him if he has pro aura. Honestly, dude, that's a really good idea. He should dress up like he's like some sort of official person with like a suit jacket and like a lanyard with like a name tag. And like the name tag can say Nick Shirley, YouTube retard, fucking virgin Mormon, right? And it could say that, but they're not going to read it. They're going to say, oh, wow. And just make an acronym for it, right? And like, yeah, they're like, oh, wow. Like, YVA, you. Oh my God. This is serious. Let's take it seriously. These business cards? Yeah, give him business cards, right? Yeah, it's a little QR code and it just like takes you to a subscription thing on his website.
For these 5 people that are registered and that cast their vote.
Yeah.
And if it's not them,
YTR register. Yeah, I like that.
Those are illegal votes. And so that right there is 5 potentially fraudulent votes in one location inside of a storage unit.
Wow. This is super important to understand before we go to the next location. In California, when you register to vote, you must be your domicile location, which is your primary residency. You can then
AKA the storage facility.
And put a different address to receive your mail, but for it to be on the voter registration form and for the voter rolls, it must be your domicile address, your primary address.
So it has to align.
Now we're going to start going to some of these locations where people have put their primary addresses as P.O. boxes. In locations like the one we're about to go to, over 30 people are registered to vote at this one UPS store.
With this fraud, a lot of these people registered to vote had their primary...
See, this is the kind of stuff that I don't think that they can fully investigate the outcomes here. Because realistically, if you have mail-in voting, if somebody doesn't have a house and they just have a P.O. box for whatever reason, like they logistically and I think that logically should be receiving a voting ballot, right? I mean, I think that they should be. So this is a law that I'm not even sure if I entirely agree with theoretically, but so like, oh wow, they filled out the paperwork wrong, it's illegal. Yes, it's illegal, but at the same time, I don't view it as unethical or immoral. It is simply just them not doing the process in the correct way. But this is the point where I think that you need to have that back-end checking system and the information. Do you see what my point is, right? Is that right now they're looking at gray areas. The other 2 were pretty cut and dried, right? It's pretty obvious these were bad. This one is much more of a gray area. That's what my point is, right? That's why you need to have the internal data.
Residency at a UPS store or
you investigate if there's any fire.
Service location. Right here, we have over 30 people who are registered to vote, and all these people right here, there's over 30 of them, are registered to vote, and this is their location. And
Come from a guy that says landowners should only vote? Well, yeah, I mean, like, you could say that, like, but I'm saying, like, logically, if you believe in mail-in voting, and we're working off of that principle, right? Because, like, yeah, you could easily say, oh, retards shouldn't be able to vote, so none of these people should be allowed to vote. But I'm working off of the principle that this is something that you're trying to do. Like, I mean, very clearly, if you're working off of that principle, then logically the conclusion of that would be that people who, have only a P.O. box should be allowed to vote. I mean, that's the logical conclusion of that ideology. Like, of course, and I think a lot of people would agree with that, right? I mean, like, maybe I don't want to see a lot of people voting, but I think I'm the minority with that. The point is that I think that that's why you need to have those system checks.
Majority of them actually voted
that's my point.
in the 2024 election against Trump and Joe Biden. And right here we have Gloria. Gloria voted in the last election. She's 100 years old.
Wow.
Born in 1925.
That's a long time ago.
What do you think about over 30 people are registered to vote in this UPS store right here? Is that a little strange to you?
Is it through P.O. boxes?
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you trying to do?
I don't know. Exactly. That's the thing, is you don't know.
What are you trying to prove?
Yeah, so
so you have to re-register where you live, right? Where your primary residence is. And so if you've got a primary residence that's a UPS store, there's a real tiny houses, inside the UPS store for people to live in.
Probably. What's your guys' affiliation?
My name's Nick
citizens.
Shirley.
Yeah,
Could you live inside a P.O. box?
No.
So do you think it's a little strange that here in California you have lots of people who are registered to vote from these P.O. boxes? Meanwhile, you don't even have to show your ID when you go and vote.
I don't want to be part of the whole MAGA storyline. Thank you.
This isn't a MAGA storyline, man. This is just the straight up facts. Now we're going in. How are you guys doing? Yeah.
You're not allowed to be here. Can you step outside?
Could we talk to somebody?
No. Can you step
This is super important.
Yeah, can you step outside?
It has to do with our elections here, ma'am.
Okay, outside.
Can someone come and talk to us?
Is Gloria here by chance? Because she's 100 years old and she voted last election from here.
She probably went in there. If this is chronological, which I don't know if it is or not, but if this is chronological, that Karen probably went in there and then afterwards told her to tell them not to let them in.
All right.
That's probably what happened.
They won't even speak to us. Do you know Gloria? She's 100 years old. She voted last election here. She's supposed to live in one of these P.O. boxes.
Well, no, I have no idea.
A little strange, right? Sir.
What?
Have you ever met like a Gloria or anything? She's supposed to live in one of these P.O. boxes. She voted.
No.
No. No idea. And another thing that's super concerning about all this fraud taking place is right now the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is also leading the way on Polymarket as to who's going to be the Democrat nominee in 2028. What do you think it says about states that don't require people to have voter ID?
It's like inconsistent, so people can kind of like tweak it however they want. So I don't know. I don't trust it. That's why.
Should states require people to show voter ID when they go and vote?
100%. Like I think like.
And by the way, this is a supermajority issue. Like even a supermajority of Democrats support voter ID. It's the same Karen. It is. And it was. Yeah, I mean, like again, Tool fan based, totally fucking based. And yeah, obviously that's the case. Do you think they should have an age cap on voting? No.
People should be verified that that's them voting and that's like them as a person. Like that needs to be like a face-to-face action. If they can't, there needs to be another way of verification.
And what makes you think that way? A lot of people don't think that way about voter ID.
I don't know. I think it's just like a common sense thing. Like it should be
fucking obvious. Like yeah, it's fucking obvious. You can't figure out who's voting. Like duh.
You that's voting.
Duh.
And, like, your vote that's going through. So it's not just like anybody.
Do you think people would pass you off for Ralph Saucedo if you just said you're Ralph Saucedo?
No. Like if I said that to me, they'd be like, really? If I walked up and like I said, oh yeah, I'm 100 years old, I'd be like, what?
I could see
you can't
Ralph,
like fake age,
but not 100.
So.
This building here in downtown San Diego, there's over 16 people who are registered to vote at this address right here. And would it surprise you if inside of this building alone, there's 15 people registered to vote, yet all the windows are boarded up?
Oh, one of the business was Ducats, and I never saw anybody go in or out of there.
It's like scamception. So not only is it illegal voting, but it's also a scam business. They're stacking.
15 people are registered to vote, and a lot of them voted in the 2024 election.
Doesn't surprise me. This is California for a reason.
Do you think...
Fucking paste. Wow.
Voter fraud takes place here in California?
What a guy.
100%.
And do you trust Gavin Newsom?
No.
Fuck no.
No, not at all.
Fuck no.
You can tell by the way he talks. He never wants to answer a real question.
Yeah.
Let's see. He calls ICE, basically calls them out, calls them terrorists. In some ways, I kind of hope he runs for president. That means someone else is going to get governor, and if he doesn't make it as president, his political career is done.
My man.
I don't see him winning. I really don't.
Yeah.
Right now in Polymarket, he's leading for the Democrats as far as who's...
I'm going to be honest. Like, I feel like he's leading. Yeah. And also, like, how is it going to be like the first debate? Governor, why is your state on fire every year? I feel like every time we hear about California, it's on fire again. How about that, huh?
going to be the next nominee.
Like,
yeah, Kamala was leading. Look how that went.
Do you think California should require voter ID?
Do I think that voters should require voter ID?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Why?
How come you need an ID when you go to the airport?
I don't know why you got to do that either.
So do you think it's possible to have fair elections here in the United States if people don't prove who they actually are by giving their ID when they go and vote?
No, that's too. I can't even answer that.
Yeah, I bet you can't. That's the end of the dialogue right there.
I'm like this. If you here, you can vote. It's just too much paperwork.
If you're here, you can vote. It's too much paperwork. Aren't you glad that we live in a country where this idiot can vote? Oh, thank God. See, I'm telling you guys that you guys have no idea how bad it really is. You got these idiots, man. An absolute battery.
Too much paperwork.
Yeah, too much bureaucracy, too much stuff.
Too much
it's just too much.
So when you go vote, you don't want to show your ID?
Nah. Heck nah, for what?
To prove that you are you.
I mean, I'm me anyway.
There it is. Shit, I mean, yeah, you think he voted? Nah, he probably doesn't even vote. But like, this is bad.
I'm me anyway.
I'm me anyway.
So no ID?
Nah.
No. What if I wanted to vote on behalf of your name?
Why would you want to do that?
Why would you want it? These people just cannot even think. This is scary, man. See, I forgot who said it, but there was a quote and it said that the strongest argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter.
Tell me why I want to do that and then I can make a decision.
What if I wanted you to vote Democrat and you're Republican?
Based.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, yeah, that's a point.
Yeah.
But I still ain't approving of it.
We headed to the next location, and it was the exact same thing where tons of people were registered to receive votes from a P.O. box.
So we were wondering, do these people live here?
I don't know. Yeah.
Like, are they living inside the post office?
This is the address of the post office, right?
Wow, another employee that has no problem answering questions and engaging with them.
Yeah.
This isn't like their mailing address, that's like their actual registration address. Do you see ballots that have like P.O. box on them and things?
Yeah.
And it's not a problem if someone is registered here to receive their ballot, but if this is their primary residence, that is a problem. And that's what the case is for all these people right here.
I think that what's happening is that a lot of them are just doing the paperwork wrong, which I don't really find, as I said, I don't think this is like a moral or ethical bad thing, but obviously you shouldn't have it happen because it makes it harder to figure out what's going on. But at the same time, I think that, again, like where there's smoke, there could be fire, and you need to look into this.
It's an illegal registration based on state law.
Because this leaves a lot of leeways for people to vote fraudulently, whether it be ballot harvesting or them just voting on behalf of somebody else.
And that's the thing that we have the greatest concern, right? 23 million ballots go through some process. This is one post office in one city, in one county, in our entire state, right? So it just has an exponential impact when you add up all the little small things that are going on.
As you can see, there's a lot of issues with these voting rolls and a lot of inconsistencies. And one of these inconsistencies is people over the age of 100 years old that are eligible to vote. For instance, there's a lot of people over the age of 125. And in this video, we just filmed around a 15-mile radius. So imagine what it's like all across the state of California. And now let's go see if there's actually 126-year-olds voting in California.
I wonder. Doris, date of birth. Oh, look at the date of birth. 1/1/1990. She just randomly clicked it. That is the laziest. That's what I sign up as. Exactly. Yeah, that's the default. Like, yeah, the first option, 1/1/1900. Okay, got it. Done. Move on.
Are you Doris?
Placeholder date? Yep.
She's right here. Yes.
Hello, Doris.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
We're just going through the voting rolls here, and we're just confirming anybody who's above the age of 100 years old. And right here it says you're 126 years old.
No, you got the wrong house.
Are you Doris Wood?
Yeah, but you got the wrong house. I'm Doris, but you got the wrong place. That's the wrong information, all that stuff. No, that's wrong.
Oh, here, I can show you if you like.
No, it's just that it's wrong.
How come you think here in California they're just messing up on all these voting rolls here?
I actually think this is kind of a weak point because there's probably a lot of old people that fill out the paperwork wrong, or whenever the paperwork gets filled out wrong, the person that's working there sees that the paperwork. So this is what I think happens, right? So like logically, big surprise, boomers fuck up paperwork. And they fuck up, and especially if this is on the internet. And I bet she maybe put her, the month instead of the year. And then the person at the office that's supposed to register this person, what probably happened is that, speaking on all levels though, yeah, well, what I'm saying, Mom had the same issue. Yeah, exactly. The person that probably had this happen that's working there just put in a placeholder date of birth in order for them to process this paperwork and not have to send it back or do anything else. Because you have to keep in mind that on all levels of the government, they are basically determined and dictated by not malicious compliance, but cynical compliance. They will just simply put whatever they need to put in there so they can process your document and move on to the next document. Because the speed in which they process documents is the way that they get graded for their assessment of their job, right? So that's what I think probably happened here. There's probably no fraud that happened here if this is the same woman. She probably just filled out her form wrong, and somebody there just corrected it to a placeholder date because they said this person's clearly living here, but we don't know when they were born. Just put that down and move on. That's probably what happened.
I don't know, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it says you voted in 51 elections, Doris.
No, not me.
Never mind. Okay. Well, never mind. I guess, okay. Okay. All right.
Really?
I'm not no 100-some years old.
I know.
I said I wasn't.
I just want to make sure you're not 126 years old.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it really does say you're 126 years old here.
No.
Says,
Who did this be 126? That don't even make sense.
I know, that's what the Secretary of State says.
Well, the Secretary of State is wrong.
Okay, well.
Put it like this, I was born in 1940, so you figure that out.
1940, so she's like 86? Damn.
All right, Doris. You have a good evening. All right, so let's say his name's Virginia.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she 86, 80, yeah, maybe 85, something like that, yeah. Fuck. That's old as fuck. Yeah, she old as fuck. I mean, like, to be honest, like, she probably could have been there, like...
She's 125 years old. She's voted over 55 times, and she's active on the voter rolls here in California. Let's see if she's home. Hi, how's it going, sir? Doing good?
Nope, I'm cooking.
Okay, well...
Nope, I'm cooking.
I'll be quick. I'm just looking for Virginia, 125 years old.
125 years old?
Yeah. She's registered to vote at this location right here. Is Virginia here?
Yeah, but she ain't no 125 years old.
Really? How old is Virginia then?
80.
80? Well, here on the state of California, she's 125 years old. And she's voted...
I think all these old people just fucked up the paperwork and somebody at the State Department just put it in anyway. They just put in a placeholder. I think that's actually what happened here. I do.
In 55 elections.
But the 55 elections.
Nope.
Is there another Virginia?
No, not here.
I wish you would ask about the elections, because that's what really would tell it. Because if you asked that woman, did you vote in 51 elections, and she said no, then I think that's really, like, that's what I would figure out. Because like an accounting error, a database error, like I don't give a shit about that. Who cares? Oh, they got the date wrong. Who cares? It's about the votes that matter.
Virginia.
10-4. It's only one in
Use
the whole
logic.
world.
Only one in the whole world. I hope she's voting good, so she's not 125?
No.
No. Well, is Virginia doing good at least?
So. Well, she's a year younger than me, and I'm 82.
Go tell Newsom she ain't 125, she 81.
Okay.
Awesome, you do that. Have a good one. Do you see what the problem is? Every location we went to inside this video, there's something wrong with the voter rolls. Whether or not the person's 125 years old, it actually doesn't matter. The part that matters is that the information is wrong on the person who's supposed to be voting.
It's stupid. How do you vote 55 elections? Somebody 88, or he says 82, so she says she's a year younger, so she's 81. You could vote in 55 elections over the course of your life. Yeah, because you got to keep in mind, like, there's local elections, there's state elections, there's presidential elections. Like, yeah, I could easily see that happen. Special elections, primaries, yeah, like, I could easily see 51 votes, 55 votes over the course of somebody's life. Like, absolutely.
Inside the United States. And the other locations, people aren't supposed to be living inside of P.O. boxes, yet they are registering to vote out of P.O. boxes, making it impossible to track back who that person is to see who actually cast that vote. This leads to lots of fraud, and everyone should be concerned about the integrity of our elections when people cannot show their own ID when they show up to vote.
This is my outlook on it, right? Is like, if you can't figure out what the fuck to do about how to get an ID, I do not want you to vote. I do not want you to vote because you are an idiot. Like, if you can't figure this fucking shit out, like, let's take a step back and say there's no fraud. There's no fraud. But if you can't figure out getting a motherfucking ID, I do not need you to vote. Absolutely not. Big facts is pretty simple. You can't have a poll tax, though. I think we should give out free IDs. I think let's give them out. Let's give out free IDs, and let's say that you better fucking bring it when you vote. How about both? Like, that's the way I see it. That's what makes sense. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Like, because again, some broke ass dude doesn't have any fucking money. Like, yeah, sure, we can give him a fucking ID. What does that cost? Like, less than $1? Who cares? It's not a big issue. How many people are going to be like that? This is like, what, at most $1 million for a place like California? Like, they can pay that in a second. So it's nothing. No, the thing is that they get driver's license. Yeah, exactly. Why would you want them to vote, though? It's not that I would want him to vote. Like, that's a different conversation. But I'm saying that based on the framework that we have now, like, I can talk about, like, theoretically, like, yeah, I want 80% of people not to vote. But, like, I'm talking about based off the framework that we have now, it makes sense that, yeah, sure, somebody might have their address at a post office. Somebody could put in their date the wrong way. And so the person at the state's office just puts it at 1900 just to ignore it. But I bet there's a lot more going on here that people aren't even really noticing. And I think it's probably ballot harvesting of what's happening. That's it. Free IDs in Germany, you got to pay $50 for one. Well, I don't know about Germany. I'm not talking about Germany. I'm saying about here. Like, that's the way I think it should be here. So yeah, that's what I think. But that'll destroy your less voting scenario. I wouldn't encourage that idea, but I get your point. Like, can't you understand the concept of having a conversation in the context of other consistent variables? Like, can you understand that? So, like, for example, it's like, what would you do if you didn't have breakfast this morning? Like, I'm talking about it in the context of something else. Like, I know it's hard, but just try to keep up. So, and it cost me $50 to get it. Is it big? I think that the amount of voter fraud that we have, if I had to guess, like, what's the percentage of voter fraud? I'd say it's probably 5%. It's probably like between 1 and 5%, somewhere around there. I don't think that it's huge, but I think that it's there. And I think that also in a lot of cases, you think 30%, 20%, that's like 1 in every 5 votes is fake. I don't think it's that much. I really don't. Because you think about it like this, right? A 5% differential is actually a 10% differential if it's all going one way. Because it's not only are you taking the 5% away from the other team, but now you're giving it to yourself. So there's a difference of 10%. So even 5% is huge. It's massive. And also most elections, even like California, the voting in California, isn't it something like 40-60, something like that? Like, I don't know if that's accurate, but I think it's somewhere around there. Like it's 40-60, maybe 35-65. So it's not like California is like a universal blue state. In a lot of other states too, you've got to keep in mind too, that yeah, it's like 35%. So, and we'll find out if they pass the SAVE Act. Yeah, I mean, everybody should be required to use voter ID. I mean, it's common fucking sense you should be using voter ID. But for some reason, we're trying to act like, oh, no, you can't use voter ID. Oh, my God. It's insane. Let me go back. I'll link this video, too.
We're just looking for these individuals as
just a second. Sorry about that. And, but yeah, I do completely fucking agree with this. Absolutely, I do. And I'll link the video. Nick Shirley, I love Nick Shirley. Make sure to give the video a like. I think he's great.